So, your garden season is winding down. You've pulled your last harvest and now you're looking at the beds, thinking you'll just tidy up. The temptation is to pull everything out, leaving that soil clean, neat, and totally bare for the winter. But I'm telling you, that is the single biggest mistake you can make. That bare soil isn't resting. It's a dying ecosystem. Don't worry though. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 dead simple steps to keep your soil alive and kicking all winter, setting you up for your best, most explosive spring garden ever. Now before we dive in, please take a quick second to hit that subscribe button so you can continue to receive all of our great gardening tips and tricks. Method 1. The leave the roots technique. The first method is the easiest of them all, and it starts the second you decide a plant's season is over. The instinct is to grab that finished tomato or pepper plant and yank the whole thing out, roots and all. I'm asking you to fight that urge. Instead, grab a pair of pruners and just snip the plant right off at the soil line. Leave the roots in the ground. I know it might feel messy, but the benefits are huge. First, those roots spent all season creating an incredible network of tunnels deep in the soil. Leaving them preserves that amazing structure. As the roots decompose over the winter, they become a delicious food source for earthworms and bacteria, right where they live. Plus, those decomposing roots leave behind a web of tiny channels, which aerates the soil and improves water drainage, making it way easier for next year's roots to grow. You're basically turning your old plant's root systems into an in-ground compost service. They release organic matter and nutrients back into the soil, exactly where your future plants will need them. For crops like beans and peas, their roots even have nitrogen-fixing nodules, so leaving them gives you a free, slow-release nitrogen boost for spring. Now, there is one huge exception here: disease. If a plant was clearly suffering from a soil-borne disease like fusarium wilt or bacterial blight, you need to pull the entire plant, roots included. Don't compost it. Bag it up and get it off your property so the disease can't infect next year's garden. But for any healthy plant, let those roots stay put. It's the laziest, most effective way to feed your soil and improve its structure with almost zero effort. Method 2. The chop and drop mulch. Okay, so you've cut your old plants at the base. What about the tops? You chop them and drop them. This brings us to our second method, putting a thick protective blanket of organic mulch over your garden. Bare soil is vulnerable soil. A layer of mulch is its best friend. This blanket insulates the soil from wild temperature swings, preventing those damaging freeze-thaw cycles that wreck soil structure. It shields the surface from being hammered by rain, which causes compaction, and it stops the wind from stealing your best topsoil. This cozy layer also helps hold in moisture, keeping things stable and hospitable for the earthworms and other critters working for you all winter. The chop and drop method is the perfect place to start. Take the healthy leaves and stems you just cut down, chop them into smaller pieces, and drop them right back onto the garden bed. You can use pruners, a string trimmer, or even a lawnmower. It's a perfect closed-loop system, returning nutrients right back where they came from. But don't stop there. Autumn gives us the best free mulch imaginable: fallen leaves. Instead of raking them to the curb, shred them with a mower and spread them over your garden beds in a thick layer. You can also use straw, pine needles, wood chips, or even unfinished compost. Your goal is a generous layer, anywhere from 2 to 4 inches thick. This layer does more than just protect. It feeds. All winter, earthworms and microbes will pull this material down into the soil, turning it into rich, dark humus. You're literally feeding your soil workforce. Come spring, you'll just pull back the mulch a few weeks before planting to let the soil warm up, and you'll find dark, crumbly, and wonderfully alive soil ready to go. Quick tip: if you're mulching around perennials, leave a little donut hole of space right around the stem. Piling mulch directly against the plant can trap moisture and cause it to rot. Give it a little room to breathe. Method 3. The power of cover crops. So, if leaving roots and adding mulch is how we protect and passively feed the soil, then our third method, planting cover crops, is how we actively supercharge it. Think of cover crops as, a living mulch. These are plants you grow specifically to help the soil during the off-season, not for you to eat. Planting a cover crop is arguably the single best thing you can do for your garden over the winter. A mulch blanket is great, but living roots are even better. Cover crops keep that symbiotic relationship between plants and soil life going all winter long. The roots are constantly leaking out sugars, providing a non-stop buffet for that microbial city under the surface and keeping it booming. The benefits are just staggering. The dense roots hold the soil together, preventing erosion. Legumes like crimson clover or hairy vetch literally pull free nitrogen fertilizer out of the air and store it in your soil. Other crops like cereal rye have massive, fibrous root systems that are experts at breaking up heavy, compacted clay. Some, like tillage radishes, act like organic drills, busting through compaction deep in the soil and leaving big channels for air and water when they decompose. If you're a beginner, here are a few foolproof options. First up, winter rye. It's incredibly cold-hardy and, it really builds amazing soil structure with its huge root system. Next, there's hairy vetch, a nitrogen-fixing machine. It's often planted with winter rye, which actually acts as a natural trellis for it to climb. Then we have crimson clover, another fantastic nitrogen fixer that's also great for crowding out weeds. And finally, oats. Honestly, this is a personal favorite for beginners because they're winter-killed. The frost does the work for you, leaving a dead, protective mulch that's super easy to plant into in the spring. Just scatter the seeds about 4 weeks before your first hard frost so they can get established. In the spring, you simply cut them down before they produce seeds. Leave the clippings on top as a mulch and plant right into it. If you found this helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's your go-to method for putting your garden to bed? Do you have a favorite cover crop or a mulch technique you swear by? Drop your tips in the comments below. Your idea might be the perfect solution for another gardener. And, let's be clear, leaving your garden soil naked and exposed all winter is a recipe for disaster. But the fix is simple: protect it and feed it. By taking these simple steps now, you're not just gardening, you're becoming an ecosystem caretaker. You're building a resilient, living soil that will give back to you tenfold. You'll need fewer fertilizers, your plants will be healthier, and your harvests will be more abundant than ever. Thanks so much for watching, and happy gardening.